Okay, guys, welcome back to another vintage video. Today we are playing some Survival of the Fittest with a little land package built in as well. So survival can tutor up mostly just like a Vengevine kill, no real silver bullets in this list other than Collector, Oof, and maybe an Ice Till Explorer. We haven't got all like the random ones, so it's usually just gonna be like Vengevine, Vengevine, Lizard, Lizard, something like that, as we survival for. Maybe a squee to accrue advantage going forwards. And then we've got a land package with 3 crop rots and the Ice Till Explorer and a Life from the Loam. And our spicy lands are going to be Saga, Bazaar, Strip Mine, and Riftstone Portal, which is better to rotate away rather than in. And then that will mean that we can attack their mana base, make infinite tokens with Saga. Saga can get a currency converter, which can also keep looting and spitting out tokens of treasure or rogue type. And then post board, there's 3 dismembers, 4 leyline, 4 vigor, oof, tab, wasteland, bog. So that's the list. 7 lizards, 4 vines, 4 hollow ones, 1 squee, 3 collector oof, 2 little hierarchs in here as well, and I've got 2 of the frenzied Baloths. So I actually kind of enjoyed them last time we were on the aggro vine. We didn't come up against the ring deck, I don't think, but I think there's still something there to be explored. So we're going to give this list a little run through a league, and then we'll see how it goes. But I always enjoy the Saga Loam stuff in Agrovine. I think it's quite fun. I did think about this second portal being an ancient tomb just to ramp out our Saga better, but we can just rotate and find a Yavimaya Cradle which does the same job. So let's go down to round 1. I'll see you there. September 21st, 2025, we have London Vintage 7. So if you are in the UK and you want to come and play some paper vintage, then scan that QR code just there on your screen, or in the description below there's a link to the event page, and I hope to see you there. Okay, then round 1 against Wanjia, and we're on the play with a no bazaar, no mana 7, so we'll take a mulligan. We've got mana here. And I think we keep this sort of thing, right? We can just bottom the Ice Till or the Vengevine. I guess the Ice Till goes because we're more likely to want to discard the Vengevine to our squeeze, to our survivals, if our survivals stick. But we're most likely going to go for a turn 2 Collector Oof. Unless, of course, they play like a Bazaar of Baghdad or something, at which point we need to find... Well, kind of just a crop rotation, right, at that point is what we need to find, because I didn't register an endurance. So, but I think this hand's keepable. I'm going to put the Ice Till on the bottom, because I can tutor that later with this Survival of the Fittest. This isn't the fastest hand in the world, but it's got play. It's got turn 2 Collector Roof, which can nuke a lot of the format. And then if it's something else, then we're probably losing, but we've got outs, right? So I'll keep this, and I'll send the Ice Till to the bottom. And we'll just fetch a basic forest. I've got 1 tiger in the list, but that literally just casts Squee or activates Blazing. I don't think it's a massive drama. So this is an ignoble hierarch, and then we pass the turn to our opponent. Very vintage, this opener. But our hope is that the turn 2 Collector Roof just does enough against whatever strategy they've bought today. They've bought Urza's Saga strategy, which I'm not fond of. So back to us then. And we draw a Bazaar of Baghdad. Do I play Bazaar and activate Bazaar? Yeah, well, I don't see why I wouldn't actually. Let's play and activate the Bazaar of Baghdad. A lizard would be great. We miss on lizards, but let's discard Vengevine, Squee, and Survival. And then we'll just throw a Collector Roof out there. They haven't revealed a Lurrus, which makes me think they're going to be on like a Shops build. And we can do the same play next turn as well. They've got Force of Will pitching Force of Will. Doesn't really tell us what they're on, but we can assume it's something dually. Saga ticks up to 2, and I'm expecting Ancient Tomb or Land Mox out of the opponent here. Just Workshop, wow. Workshop, Mana Vault, Mana Crypt. Well, it might just be dying. Right? So they can make a 3/3 token. But then if our Collector Reef survives this turn, more survivals go to the bin. More Collector Reefs go onto the stack. A land there would have been really nice. So they float 2 mana, they make a token, so Collector Reef lands. Their Saga is going to die. They're not going to get the second token off of it, which is really good for the sizing on our Vengevines. But obviously they can just play more artifacts, that's what their whole deck does. So they move to their main phase. We assume float a mana. No, they missed the float. I think they yielded to their triggers then. And they get a Vexing Bauble, which is absolutely fine because I am a mana deck today. They get second Workshop and Slay for 4. Crunch, crunch. 3 cards in hand on the other side of the table. Squee comes back to ours. Yes, please. And I find a rotation. So we can activate Bazaar looking for a lizard. We don't find one. So let's go Squee, Vengevine. And is it just rotate goes? Or do I want to rotate for a land? No, I think I want to... Well, I can rotate for Cradle, right? I can rotate for Cradle. So let's say I do that. Rotate away for Cradle. And this might be really good. So if I discard Wooded Foothills, I can cast Ignoble Hierarch. No, I don't want to cast Ignoble Hierarch. I can tap my forest, rotate into a Cradle, discard Hierarch, get something, discard something. I think I've got enough mana, right? Yeah, so I want to discard Wooded Foothills. Oh, maybe I'm one short. Crop rotate for Cradle anyway. Away of the forest, I guess. Yeah, I'm one short, right? So what 1-drop can I get that's worthwhile? I can't really, so I'm going to actually play this Ignoble out. And then play this Survival of the Fittest. And now I can attack them for 4. And pray. And then next turn we kill them. Because I've got the Squee in hand next turn, so they will just die. We just need to survive. We need them to not play a duel and not draw Talongates. We can beat the ring because of Frenzied Baloth. It's an ancient tomb. An opponent thinks they're winning, so they attack me for 4. That's fine. But they're just going to die this turn. 1, 2, 3. Phyrexian Metamorph makes another token. That's fine. I get a Squee. So Emerald gets countered and loses anyway. So let's tap this, discard a Squee, get a Vengevine, tap this, discard a Vengevine, get a Vengevine, tap this, discard a Vengevine, get a Lizard. The Lizards are going to get countered, but nobody cares. Discard a lizard, okay. Opponent concedes the game. Nice. So Collector Oof into Survival was good enough in the dark against a Dual Shops build. So post board, we get another Oof, 4 Vigors, and a Wasteland. We might want a couple of Dismembers, because they could be on Hull Breaches, they could be on Master Cores. The Dismembers are just bad against their Wormcoil engines. Thank you. I think Currency Converter can go, and I think I'm allowed to drop some of the nonsense power as well. Like maybe these two. And Jet's good because I can cast things with Jet, so Sapphire. So that's 65. I'm bringing in a Wasteland, so I'm going to drop a Riftstone Portal. That's 64. I like a lot of this stuff. Loam can be good in conjunction with Collector Roof, but I think we'll ignore that for now. I still need a lot of cuts. I don't like cutting a lizard. I'm going to cut Hierarchs. I know the Hierarchs did us some good there by being more mana, but then maybe we just cut a rotation and just keep. Like, I want these quick Collector Roofs and I want these quick kills, so I don't really want to come off of the Vengevines and Hollow Ones. I know there's an Ice Explorer there, but I really think that card's neat. So, we've got a quick hand here. We can kill some nonsense with a Dismember. If we find a Riftstone Portal, our Bazaar will then turn on our Saga. They've got some quick nonsense of their own. Turn 1 Tezzeret, okay. Tezzeret probably shoots up like a Lotus or something, or is it going to be a Land Vexing Bauble? Mana Vault, okay. Might just be one of those very quick kills from our opponent here. Springs is in. Mana Vault is in. Tez goes to 2. Mana Vault doesn't get tapped. I'd like to draw a Vengevine. I've drawn a Forcer figure, that's pretty cool as well. I do hit the Vengevine. Let's go Lizard, Lizard, Vine. Cast 2 Lizards, kill Tezzeret. Yes, please. Kill the Tezzeret. Cast a Hollow One. And then I think we chill with Vigor pitching Ice Till until they put their PO on the stack, I assume is the way to play. But then if I pass through to main phase, then they can have Wormcoil Engine. And then I just Vigor Wormcoil, eat the Death Toucher, and carry on with my day, actually. So I think that's fine. So that's the Wormcoil Engine. And an Urza's Saga. So let's kill those two before they can cast a Time Walk. Force of Will, pitching Force of Will. Okay, well that's a problem for the home team, if I'm honest with you. Right, Mox Jet does work. Mox Jet does work. They've got no cards in hand. So I think I play as the Saga. I'm not sure about playing Mox Jet just yet. And then I attack with Squad. Yeah. Squad seems good. And now we can just dismember this guy. So that will trade with my team. They will get 2 3/3s into play. And then I think I hold. So I need to find something else, right? Next turn. To outgrow their tokens. I need to find another Vigor. Mana Crypt damages them. They do have a life linker in play though. Maybe that attack wasn't great. The Force of Will backup is what really broke our back here. Saga ticks up. They've got one card in hand. They opt to attack with both. I go to 10, they go to 10. They do have a 6/6 blocker, to be fair to them. The green source here is incredible because it will cast our Collect Roof. That also casts our Force of Vigor. So, okay, cool. Off of this stuff we go. And then we attack. They make a token. I kill Token Saga. They take 6. I take 6. I can't kill Token Saga, right? So maybe I actually have to relax. So they're going to get 2 tokens no matter what here. Okay. These ones trigger. I probably can't let this Saga resolve, right? Because they can just get a Vexing Bauble off the activation. Oh, I can kill both your constructs, right? I can kill both your constructs, trade with the life linker, and then it's 3/3 versus. So this bit can resolve. And then I nuke these two before you can play a Vexing Bauble. I trade with your life linker. I then get a currency converter, right? No, it's in my sideboard. Huh. I guess I just get a Lotus then or something. They get Soul Ring. They cast a ring, we're in trouble. They cast a PO. That's also a problem. Okay, well. Some didn't go according to plan. Turn 2 Worm Coil with Force of Will behind was an issue. They replay everything. They've got infinite cards. When they Hellbent, they just top deck PO like that on us. And then they've got a bunch of stuff. It kills. They've got a Vengevine. The Vengevine I'm not too stressed about, I don't think. I take 7. Let's trade with your life linker. I go to 3. You go to 10. Replay the Mana Crypt, so they've got more to do. Mana Vault. Argent and Masticore. So they've got all the things we thought they could have. I don't know why I'm activating over the top of Squee. I can actually cast Squee, but no, we're dead. Okay. Okay. Right. Everything went wrong. I want my currency converter back. Although the reason I dropped currency converter is my main game plan is to collect Roof You, right? So it should probably be that I've got these hierarchs and not these rotations to maximize the amount of collect Roof we can cast, and then we'll drop a Dismember. We'll bring in a Dismember and we'll drop the Ice Steel. I think the Ice Steel's a joke in this matchup. I don't think we're getting there. And do I want the currency converter in over like a survival? Or an Elvish Spirit Guide? Yeah, I think I do. 3 survivals is probably adequate for most of our builds, to be honest, I think. But this is just land a collect roof and pray this game, I think. Okay, game 3. 2 Bazaars and a Vigor. Yeah, sure. Is that good? I think so. I think it has to be good. I think we have to make it good at the very least. I can probably discard one of these Bazaars, because my Bazaars are under threat from their needles. Oi, oi, oi. So let's discard Bizarre, Cradle, and then Dismember, I guess. So I've got a pitch to my Vigor. I've got the Wasteland for their one spell, for their one land, and I've got Force of Vigor. So I've got Force of Vigor to clean up, I've got Wasteland to clean up, and I've got Mox Emerald land for my Collector Reef next turn. There we go. I managed to use words. Vexing Bauble knocks out the Vigor and the Emerald. Then the opponent pays 2 mana on a Grim Monolith. Maybe I wanted to develop the Emerald then. Now I can't do much. Let's activate, seeing as a lot of our cards just got turned off by this Vexing Bauble. Vengevine, Lizard, Emerald can all go, because they're dead to the Bauble. We'll cast the Hollow One to get our Vengevine back into play. And then we'll strip their Workshop. Let's kill that. Now I'm like an eternity away from a Collector Roof. Our opponent still has a Grim Monolith in play, which isn't great for us. So I can just go Workshop Wormcoil and the game ends. We've got to hope that that was like one land. We've got a Metamorph, which copies something. Vengevine. And it looks like they're passing the turn. Oh no, they're racing. The race is on. Okay. Land, I assume. Springs. Tapped. Okay. So there's a Hollow One. Let's activate a Bazaar of Baghdad to see if we can find something good. I can find a Dismember and a Collector Roof. So let's attack for 4. Another land off the top here would be fantastic. Opponent falls to 10. They've only got 1 mana going into this turn. If they try and pass to us, I will dismember their Vengevine. Ancient Tomb. No, they're still coming in. They want more. So this is just a Hull Breacher then. Land, please. Thank you. Will attack. Opponent falls to 6. I'll be going to 5. Opponent cracks the Bauble to cast their Force of Will. Okay. And now if they tap their Ancient Tomb, they're going to die. But they can now play all their Moxen and POs and pick up the Vengevine. Have they made a lot? Oh, Wandering. That's gross. So Frenzied Baloth off the top rope will win the game. They do draw a card with the One Ring. And then they will feel like they can get 3 for 4. Okay. So we do have an activation to find one of our 2 Baloths here. Springs. Tapped. Obviously, they're on 3. Okay. Draw step. Force of Vigor. Activation. No Baloth. So I guess I just hold Vengevine, Dismember up. Hold back the Vengevine because I can't get through. Hold up Dismember. Their mana's not great, right? I mean, they're going to get to draw 2 cards here. But they can't cast a PO without a land drop. But they'll be on 5 cards. Oof. Doesn't sound fun. I can Dismember in response to this, but I just don't think it's good for me to do that. I think I declare blocks and then Dismember. And another blue source. Another Grim Monolith. I feel like we've just run out of time. I've got 3 cards. The problem with declare blocks Dismember is the PO. One, two, three, four. Cast PO. I hate that for me. Do I Dismember in response? Before they get mana, I think so. Before they get more cards, I mean. I know they're not picking this up with the Dismember, but it just clears the path. They get to draw 4. They get to reset the ring. So they get to go Mox, Pearl, Grim, Ring. And we're again on Frenzied Baloth from the top to win. They'll have 2 more mana once their ring's landed to play around with from their workshop. But it will have to be Grim, Ring. Lodestone Golem. Well, that kills the Baloth. Do I flip for lizards? No, but I can flip for a 1 mana hollow one, right? Riftstone Portal's quite cool. So I think this is one of those spots where I have to put forward the question and force you to block. Because we're both dead to each other's attacks. So I just need to make you trade off with me. And now that that's not in play, I can flip upkeep maybe. Okay, so they're just holding a Hull Breacher now. So otherwise you just play the One Ring, right? So I can't activate my card. So they're just playing. They're just holding Hull Breacher, which means I'm at 1. So I think I still develop the survival. They'll play a Hull Breacher on end step. There we go. I need to draw a creature card next turn. They have a Mox Opal. Time Walk kills quite convincingly. Maybe I was supposed to activate in response to try and find that squee in response to the Hull Breacher. I probably was. I'm at 1. Time Walk kills. We can beat the One Ring with a top decked creature, finding a Baloth. The Baloth won't beat a second Hull Breacher to chump with. If you don't have the walk, I presume you deploy the ring though. Like, that seems really simple. Yeah. And then you might feel like you've got an activation. They don't feel like they do. So any creature is great. That is an any creature. And that actually brings in a Hasty Vengevine as well, which beats the second Hull Breacher. So we're going to activate the Survival, discard Basking. We cast Basking Rootwaller. Survival resolves, and we get the uncounterable Frenzied Baloth, which counters the One Ring's protection. Green, green, please. Thank you. Trigger my Vengevine. Can't be countered. Read it again. Yeah, I'd love to have a Vengevine. And now we attack you with combat damage can't be prevented. And as long as the Frenzied Baloth stays in play, they'll die. Sick stuff. What a cool game 3 that was. That was sick. That was sick. Right. Frenzied Baloth, MVP. Let's go to game 2. Okie dokie. Round 2. We're up against Red Hot Phil. We're on the play again. Red Hot Phil is like, in my mind at least, Squee or Jewel, and not much in between. Obviously, they can play different decks. They might have played Doomsday before. Who knows? But this is a banger, this hand, right? Once it's been activated, it's a nice looking hand. Chance of the Annex enters the revealed zone. That's fine by me, I think. I don't think I want to feed them the Ruby because they're on mono white. I think I'd rather feed them the lizards. I can also pay for my first lizard, right? Is that any good? Probably not. We'll keep the Bazaar. We'll keep the zeros. We'll just discard the Elvish Spirit Guide, I think. This lizard gets sacrificed to the gods. And then I get a 1/1 into play. And now I think I do deploy, because then I can do stuff next turn. We can expect to get wasted kind of quickly. That's why I've held this Bazaar. They've got an Emerald and a Lotus. This doesn't seem great for the home team. Because Anointed Peacekeeper would be like piss annoying. Vexing Bauble's fine, I've done that. So Anointed Peacekeeper means we need to top deck a Bazaar of Baghdad. White Plume Adventurer is interesting, so I can go and get a Forest out of my deck. They've got a basic plains. 4 cards left. One of them's a Chancellor. White Plume untaps. This means I get an activation. I'd love to just I'd love to just rip a survival here. That'd be so good. It's a Gaia's Cradle. It's not quite the same, but it's not bad. Let's go back to the Wishing Well then. There's a survival. Okay. But I've got to discard 3 of these. So Bazaar. Help me. Bazaar, Forest. It's got to be one of the creatures, right? Because I play the Cradle. I get a bunch of lizards isn't very good. Oh, it's actually got to be all 3, right? It's got to be all 3 lands. No, that's horrible. Right, so Bazaar Forest, that's for sure. And then it needs to be one of Spirit Guide, Cradle, Hollow One. If we discard the Cradle, we can crack Lotus, discard Spirit Guide, get a Frenzied Goblin. Maybe it's a setup turn. Not Frenzied Goblin, whatever it's called, you know. But maybe it's a setup turn where I discard, cast Survival, discard Hollow One, get Squee, discard Squee, get something nonsense. Next turn, yeah, I think I discard the 3 on the left, cast Survival, discard Hollow One, get Squee, discard Squee, get Frenzied Baloth. Frenzied Baloth then means that my creature spells can't be countered. I think that's what it reads. And then I'll get Squee back to my hand. Their Vexing Bauble will be useless. Can I just get a Collect Roof into play, though? Get Squee, get Collect Roof. You've got nonsense left, and I have already sacrificed my things. I think that's where I've landed there. I think I've landed on discard Forest, Bazaar, Spirit Guide. Crack this for green. Let's back up slightly. So, crack Lotus for green. Play Survival. No, yeah, I don't care about the initiative right now. I play Survival like so. I discard Hollow One to get Squee. No, this doesn't really work, does it? It has to work. I have to just get Squee. Is that right? Let's just read this guy quickly. Creature spells you control can't be countered. Prevent all combat damage. I mean, I can put that into play, and I can put the Collector Reef into play. But it's just whether... But then I have to top deck a creature. Whereas Squee guarantees a good time next turn. Is that true, though? Because I've only got one thing. Maybe I do just get the Baloth, then. Because Squee doesn't actually guarantee a good time, because I'll only have 1 green mana. So if I just get Frenzied Baloth and attack with 2, then I get Forest to hand. That's another play. Frenzied Baloth then dies, but I've got the initiative. I actually like that. Let's grab a Frenzied Baloth then. Play a Gaia's Cradle. Tap this. Play the Baloth. Move to combat. And then I can tutor a Forest to hand, which guarantees me 2 green next turn to top deck creatures with. And the can't be countered is somewhat scary, because it means all of my lizards resolve in future. So I get a Forest to hand, which means my Bazaar's online next turn as well, so I can just take my draw and find my creature. And sure, they've got another turn with their initiative threat and stuff. They're going to take the initiative, make a 5/5, and then we're going to have to come up with a plan against a 5/5. But we've invalidated their bauble without making them crack it. Well, we've invalidated their bauble on my creature spells, right? Creature spells you control. So my hollow ones will work going forwards. And now they've got a void mirror. That's the same thing. That's the same thing. No one cares. So I can take the draw step to find the creature. I just find a Collect Reef off the bat. So then let's consider our options. I've got 3 green mana, which means I can discard Oof, get Lizard. Discard Oof. 3 green is hard, right? I still think we go Oof, Lizard, Oof. Something like that. Forest. Oh no, I don't want to get Lizard, I want to get Squee. So let's go Forest, discard this. Get Squee. Discard Squee. Get Collector Roof, right? Get Collector Roof. Cast Collector Roof. Activate Bazaar of Baghdad. Hit nothing good. But now I've got a Squee. Now I've got infinite mana. No attacks, because we're going to get bodied slightly here, but opponent's got 1 mana. And I've got more than 1 mana, and I've got my Squee into my bin. Which means I'm locked to draw a creature every turn. And I've got my Bazaar activation online every turn. I'm at 12, I go to 7. You untap, but then there's just an army of Vengevines coming at you. A literal army. The attack's somewhat free, right? Unless you don't want to trade off your creature. Because you get the untap as well. Frenzied Baloth making their Void Mirror and Bauble look stupid. Back to me. You untap your White Plume. No attack. That's quite nice. I like that a lot for me. Now I'm guaranteed a Squee activation or a survival activation. Squee comes back to hand. We take a draw step. We draw a Lizard, and I think that's just the literal best. Because that's +1 mana on our Cradle. This guy won't get countered because I have a Frenzied Baloth. So we cast Lizard. What a sick draw. Yeah, you can stack your triggers. Stack them how you want, Phil. I didn't mind. Okay, so Vexing Bauble. Blank piece of cardboard. Void Mirror. Blank piece of cardboard. I have a Lizard. Rah. Cool. And now I get to tutor. And now we just get the Vengevine train, right? Vengevine for Vengevine for Vengevine for Vengevine. Yeah, I'm going to do this until I run out of Vengevines. You know what's coming, Phil. And when I've not got any Vengevines left, I'll get a hollow one. In we go. Last vine gets next hollow. Cast this. Triggers, please. Oh, you've got some as well. This is so much fun. Good lord. Yeah. This was a cool game though. Like the last 2 games. So game 3 of the duel matchup and the match here, we had like a lot of decisions as well. Hollow one's in. Begin combat, please. And I'll attack with everyone, I don't care. Crunch. Thank you for letting us play it out, Phil. That was very kind of you. So, mono white. I like the dismembers. I do like the additional oof and the vigors and yada yada yada. I like all of this. I don't like the bog. I like this nonsense. They're going to be a tabernacle deck too, but I wonder if we can tabernacle them harder. I don't think so. I think we just use their tabernacle against them if that's what they try to do. I think the vigors are good, but I think I'd rather just fight the creatures. As we saw from that game, Frenzied Baloth has given us a real meaningful avenue against the Vexing Baubles, Void Mirrors, all that shit. So Riftstone Portal I think is good here. Currency Converter. Oh, this is interesting. Does Clarion Conqueror hit enchantments? I can't remember. I'm not going to look it up. So Sapphire can go, Pearl can go. I think this is the sort of matchup where we can get bogged down enough for Ice Teal, Loam, and Friends to be good. Let's look at some mana value as if that's relevant. 63 is more than I would like to play. I'm actually going to try the 3 survival idea because I think 4's a lot. Ignobles can make a difference in combat, right? Make my Vengevine a 5/4, which makes your White Plume bad. So they might actually not be an embarrassment. The rotations are really good because they're a 5 Wasteland deck. I think the Currency Converter can go, although I got sad about the Currency Converter being gone a moment ago. Let's just drop a Fetch Land. Well, Fetch Land's cooler. Windswept Heath, Misty Rainforest, or Wooded Foothills. Let's play Windswept Heath today. Oh no, I don't want to cut both of them. Good grief. Alright, one more cut, team. Spirit Guide. See you later, buddy. It's probably Ice Teal, but who cares? I don't know if I'm allowed to cut that much mana in realistically, but all my other cards are a bit too cool to cut, so we'll do what we want. Okie dokie. We have got a nice hand on one. I'm going to keep it. Opponent doesn't have Graveyard Hate just yet. Misstep might have been a cut, but Misstep also gets Plow and Vexing Bauble. Void Mirror would look fantastic here, to be honest with you. Ancient Tomb Void Mirror would probably be game winning. Misstep maybe just shouldn't be in the deck. I just didn't really think. They've got a Lotus. I mean, I've got one too, but they've got one now. Lotus, Emerald. Lotus, Emerald, Pause seems to be the play. Wasteland. Void Mirror. Okay, so as discussed, Void Mirror could just be game winning. Nothing to do with 3, so it's just going to be a Seasoned Dungeoneer game. We'll just play our Misty to play around their waste. And then we can fetch forests, play a survival, and turn 3 have something to talk about. But that's probably just going to be far too slow. Cavern of Souls comes in, names Cleric. That's a White Plume Adventurer, sure. I do have Dismembers in my deck. I think they might be a bit slow. I think this Black Lotus is just holding up the Containment Priest at the moment. That's a Bazaar of Baghdad. They do have a Void Mirror. But that's the same, right? I just get wasted next turn. So if that's just Containment Priest, I play Bazaar, I activate Bazaar. I mean, I take 10 next turn regardless, right? No, I take 5 next turn. I think I like play Bazaar, activate Bazaar. I find double Hollow One to go along with my Vengevine. And I think because it draws me a forest, I'm actually kind of game. No. Discard Misstep Lotus. Vengevine Misstep Lotus. And this time opponent will get full value from their Void Mirror. That wasn't representing Containment Priest. I do get to attack for 4 here. Oppo not interested. I get basic forest, and now we've got tutor land with Misty and get an Urza's Saga, and all of a sudden Phil's got a whole load of other problems going on once his wasteland gets countered. So there's basic planes. This could be a Chancellor here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't like that for me. So yeah, you get counters on your dude, that's fine. Seasoned Dungeoneer. Okay. No wasteland. Why are we so attached to... Why are we so attached to the Lotus then? What can I rotate for? Nothing really. I mean, I can fetch Forest and have a look what I can rotate for. I can rotate for Wasteland, Urza Saga, Strip Mine, Riftstone Portal, Gaia's Cradle. I can do that later. Let's just get a basic Forest for now. And untap. You untap too, I agree. Cradle off the top. So activate Bazaar. Lizard Converter. How much am I taking next turn? 6 at least. Lizard gets countered. So Lizard, Cradle, Windswept. Cast Lizard. Void Mirror happens. Play out basic Forest, I think. Cast a Currency Converter. And I can't attack. And now I can rotate Bazaar for Bazaar. They get an extra card. I think I'm just going to be a little bit too slow. I think I'm just going to be a little bit too slow in this game. And their shit's going to be untapped as well. They've got a Strip Mine. Ugh. That's disgusting. Let's rotate Forest for Bazaar of Baghdad, because then I'm guaranteed to keep Bazaar of Baghdad. Right. Okay. And now they strip the untapped one, which I don't feel like I can fight over. Maybe I have to fight over it. By fight, I mean just activate. But I need the 2 cards that are in my hand. I take 6 and trade here, but you explore onto that, so I take 5. I can't trade because my Cradle will die. So if my Cradle's dead, do I just want to activate my Bazaar of Baghdad? Get a 2/2. I'm going to activate. I hit Collect Roof, Dismember. So how does that work then? So I keep the Dismember. You explore onto the Dungeoneer, or you just give the Dungeoneer protection. No, you just give the Dungeoneer protection, then I can't do anything, so Dismember's bad. I get 3 2/2s in a Guy's Cradle, or I get a Survival of the Fittest I can't cast in a Guy's Cradle. I think I'm just dead. I'm going to keep the... I don't know. I think I'm just dead. Do I just keep Dismember and Pray? I can't Pray because that's just not very good. But Dismember's the only card I can cast, so let's just keep Dismember. I do get to exile all of these, right? Yeah, none of these matter. These will make some 2/2s, and if I can Dismember the Dungeoneer, then I get some blockers, but they get the Throne next turn, which is horrible. So, yeah, I'll exile all of these. Bazaar dies, I agree. No, I think we're just too far behind. It was that very early Void Mirror that kind of dicked us. Ah, just this. Okay, so I just take my 6, it's clean. They've got a Sapphire on top of their deck that goes straight to the bin. I go to 5. Do you have any other plays? Oh. I can't beat other plays. So let's put a Collector Reef in the bin. Get a 2/2. This guy untaps. And we draw a Vengevine. No, I think we're good here. I can't beat the double initiative threats. I think I was in an acceptable position if they didn't have the follow-up right. I dismember down to 1. I attack you with both. You eat 1. I make a token and chump block. I've got the initiative. Something like that. But I think with the Archon, we're not getting anywhere. So, are we happy with our sideboarding, or do we think it's dreadful? I mean, I'm happy and it's dreadful, I think is where I'm at. Misstep's bad. Do I want another land, or do I want a Vigor? I think I want another land. I don't have a Boseiju in my list, which is a really good way of killing Void Mirror, right? But hey ho, sometimes you make deck building mistakes. Okie dokie. So turn 1 Hierarch into rotate for Bazaar. On turn 2, I think, is where I'm going to be. Or I could just rotate turn 1. That might be better. Opponent has a Chancellor. I'll feed them the Hierarch. Here you go. Just a 6-card keep over there, though. Chrome Mox exiles the Chancellor. Ancient Tomb. Makes a Clarion Conqueror. That does not say enchantments. We draw a crop rotation. So I can rotate basic forest. Grab a Bazaar of Baghdad. Activate the Bazaar of Baghdad. Hit Vengevine, Squee. Play Misty and pass to you. Expect to get wasted. Counter your Wasteland. With another rotation. Getting another Bazaar of Baghdad. I think. Yeah, it's gotta be. That was pretty sick. And I will hit them with the end step activation. Because I've got the squeeze to get back on next turn. They don't go for the attack step. We will hold the lizard to maximize outs on this turn. Yes, I get a squee. Yes, I draw a card. And I get collect roof. Okay, so this is like pretty cool, but I need to find a land, right? I find 2 lizards. Lizard, lizard, squee. This is 2 Vengevines. They're Tabernacles in shambles, because I've got a Riftstone Portal. Ruby. Oh, yeah. You've got a Clarion Conqueror. So if they trade off here, then we just get to kill their Chrome Mox again. They might have white to plow my guy and then be back in the game. They don't. Your turn. Tabernacle means we need to get rid of stack abilities automatically. They don't have a Tabernacle. I've got Squee. I don't care. I'm just going to pump a Lizard. And just try and build up cards slowly. You're at 4. Your turn. You can't tap your lands. You can't kill my guys. I have a Riftstone Portal. Your mana doesn't work. That was sick. Double rotation to kill the Wasteland and just eat the turn was disgusting. And then Frenzied Baloth countering everything. And then in another game they had some cards and we died. But who cares? Frenzied Baloth and Crop Rock coming up is pretty fun. Right, round 3. Okay, round 3, and we've got an interesting one. We've got a turn 2 Collector Roof and a turn 2 Life from the Loam off of a Hierarch. And then we can gradually build towards something. It doesn't seem very good, does it? I'm doing absolutely nothing. Like, if they're on Bazaar, we're just so cold. If they're on Shops, we've at least got a Collector Roof in play. If they're on something else, we're probably far too slow. Do you keep this or do you mulligan? I think I mulligan. This is worse. This is also horrendous. Because I can't make a green. Okay, sometimes that happens. Bazaar, some cards. Keep this. Send away Frenzied Baloth, Survival. Say done. You'll go. Mox Emerald. Mox Pearl. Give me my first hand again. Urza's Saga. Well. Aren't we in trouble? Into a Tezzeret, okay. Tezzeret tutors up. Sensei's Divining Top. So it's some sort of Raker PO nonsense. We get a card and then we get a Bazaar activation. That's a cool card. Lizard? Never lucky. So let's go Vengevine. Crop Rot. Oof. Do I want to keep the Oof? No, Vengevine, Crop Rot, Oof. Cast a Hollow one. And now we can rotate into another Bazaar and flip one of our 7 lizards to kill Tezzeret now. Or we can just rotate into a Wasteland. I think I rotate into a Wasteland. Or a strip mine, sorry. Strip mine you. Yeah, that's my whole turn. That's all of my cards. All 4 of them. And now we hope that they've not got anything that can get in the way of my hollow one. And then we attack them a few times and hope they die. That's it, that's the whole game plan. Tezzeret makes some mana. 3 of it. Black Lotus into play. Springs. That makes 6 mana. Makes 7 mana. PO for it all. 10 cards in hand. So what is it? Lotus, Mox, Tez. That's what they've got at the moment. And a Sensei's top. Doesn't look great for us. Maybe the Bazaar line was better. Are we happy to concede this one? I've got no cards in hand. I've got just a hollow one. They've got Tezzeret top, Pearl, Lotus. Tezzeret tutors. Tezzeret tutors Mana Crypt. Mana Crypt lands, Tezzeret goes up. Top comes in. Maybe it's just one of those games where face is the place and we just ignore that Tezzeret exists. You've put a Mana Crypt into play for me. I know you're still holding a Lotus. Ow. Top flips. They play a Mana Vault. They're not redeploying the Lotus, they're just letting Tezzeret die. Okay. Doesn't make sense to me. I guess second Tezzeret and they just gained 4 life. That makes sense. They lost the flip. They play the One Ring. The One Ring is in. Talongates phases out my hollow one. Largely irrelevant. Top and pass. Okay, weird. Oh, no, the Lotus is in the bin. Okay, sorry, my bad. Alright, let's go to a new one. We have been successfully defeated. Maybe I could have played that turn differently, but I liked a lot of it. So, Oof. Wasteland. Couple of Dismembers. Ice Till's going to go this time. Hierarchs left last time, I think. Currency Converter. I think I'm supposed to be cutting. As I said before, like, it is good, but the problem is I want a Collect Roof in play. And then I'm going to pitch a Spirit Guide, I think. No, maybe the other Hierarch. I don't think in this matchup I'm able to do plays such as Forest Hierarch go. I don't think that's real. Okay, so we've got to win 2 on the bounce. This is a good hand to do it with. Okay. So let's cast a Black Lotus to start. And now play a Bazaar of Baghdad. Activate it. Loam. Yeah, the 3 in the middle. Cast a hollow one. So I can dredge back onto I can dredge back up onto Vigor next turn. I get Vengevine into play. Yep. Force of Will? No. Okay, so it could just be a Talongate's hand, but it's still roughly where we want to be, right? We've resolved the Collect Roof. We've got 10 power in play. Our opponent's at 16, and next turn I'm going to kill 3 of their permanents. It's not typical for Jewel to have Tabernacle. It is typical for Jewel to have Talongates, though. Now they're going to have to go for like a turn 1 kill. They PO for 3, which is a nice start. And let's see what they can come up with that's going to defeat me. Grim Monolith. Sapphire. Pithing Needle on Bazaar of Baghdad is fine. They're still getting bodied for 10 next turn, right? Or are you naming Wasteland? Or Strip Mine? They name the Bazaar. That's fine. This comes back into play. I dredge the loam. I play the Wasteland and I waste your Talongate. I'm just going to... Because that means that they can't just go Workshop whatever next turn. Workshop One Ring. There you go. That's what I'm trying to say. I think I'm happy to chill out for a second. If they put a Talongate trigger on the stack, I'm then going to kill Sapphire Grim in response to the trigger. Okay, well, we win that one. I like where we're at in terms of sideboarding. And we'll ship the turn across. We'll ship the deck back. Blah, blah, blah. Words and noise. Okay, I'm going to keep this hand. This is turn 1 Collector Reef off of Spirit Guide, pitching Baloth of Force of Vigor. This is as disruptive as I can be. Workshop. Grim Monolith. Mox Sapphire. Pithing Needle. Pithing Needle hits Bazaar. I'm going to go after it. I'm going to go after Grim and Sapphire. They might PO. They might Force of Will. They might just let them die. So they do Force of Will, pitching a Hull Breacher, which is interesting. I'd like a Spirit Guide, to be honest with you. I hit Moxjet. That's just as good, right? Yeah. Moxjet's busted. Moxjet. Spirit Guide. Collector Roof. Wasteland your Workshop. I've got Grizzly Bear. And you've got 1 card in hand and no relevant permanents. Back to me. Attack for 2. 17. Quite the countdown. Opponent has a Springs. Tapped. Back to me. Tiger. Lizard. Now it's 5 a turn. Now you've got only 3 turns to deal with this all. Ancestral. Okay. Ancient Tomb. Grim Monolith. Okay, the opponent's on their way back. Vengevine does nothing. Pump Kid and Slay. In we go. You're at 8. We've got to watch out for the Hull Breacher off of this mana base. Mana base, Hull Breacher blocking Collector Roof would be annoying. We assume Talongates kills us and we can't play around it anyway. Cool, so this is a relatively obvious Hull Breacher here in my opinion. So we'll attack, I think, with both. With the aim of dismembering the Breacher. Doesn't happen, so we just pump instead. Opponent's at 3. I will play my Bazaar of Baghdad, although I can't activate it in any way, shape, or form. Now it's over to the opponent to have their turn, and they concede the match. That top decked Mox Jet coming in clutch, so we got the Wasteland off as well. What a beautiful day. Let's go to the next round. I'll see you there. Okay, then round 4. We're up against Red -5. We've got Bazaar, so we'll give it a keep. Opponent does not have a Lurrus of the Dream Den. So probably a workshop game again. I've got a misstep to interact with, which is a nice change of pace. We haven't had much interaction before. It's an underground river, so it's going to be a PO Raker list is what we're going to be against. It's just River Go from the opponent, or River Jet Go. Underground river. Well. Let's play a Bazaar of Baghdad then. They could have a Bowmaster, but I can't really deal with that. So this is all trash, really, isn't it? But Lizard, Portal, Jets to go. Cast the Lizard. Cast the Hollow one. Opponent forces the Hollow one, pitching a Sink into Stupor. I'll roll out the Sapphire to confirm good things next turn. I've got the Saga rolled up and the mana to use the Saga. They've got Ancient Tomb into a turn 2 stock up. Okay. They take a point, which is cool. But stock up is probably quite bad for us. And then they just pass the turn. Nothing else to say or do. And then, can I activate? I guess so. Activate this, discarding Pearl Misstep Forest. Pearl Misstep, no. What Misstep Hierarch Forest? And now I can play a Saga. Cast a Survival of the Fittest. Attack for 1. And then play Pearl Converter. So I'm going to have big, bulky Saga tokens. And we can, decide later on what we do with our Bazaar of Baghdad. Opponent casts Glaring Flesh Raker, which isn't great. And they've got Ancient Tomb, Grim Monolith. I think they're just going to go off here and kill us. Sensei's top, which my misstep could have dealt with. They'll take a look with their top. So they've got 2 floating mana. Well, and they've got the 3 other mana that they've got on board. Or they're just going to PO for 3. PO for 3 is kind of fucked for us. Oh, and the Sensei's top activation, of course. Yeah, we were just too slow, I think is the joke here there. We were too slow, nothing happened. And now we lose. And it's even at the point where, like, a Collector Reef isn't going to do a lot. Because they're still going to have the Flesh Rakers and all the tokens. So, here comes the Jet and the Grim again. Then they'll be at the top. Did they find the second top? Yeah, cool. So we are just dead. Okay, so now we need to think about how we beat this Raker pile with our post-board configurations. I want the Dismembers. I want the Vigors. I want the Wasteland. I want to drop a Survival, some Hierarchs, a Pearl and a Sapphire, a Portal, Ice Till. It's going to be the same as the dual stuff, right? But I'm bringing in a few more cards. So I'm just going to cut the Converter this time around. I think Converter's too slow for what we're doing, and I think Loam is too slow for what we're doing. This is just going to be kill all your shit and pray we can attack you. That's going to be the rough game plan. I don't know what their hate's going to be about this game, but resolve Collector Roof, don't die, kill Flesh Rakers, don't die, kill them is going to be the rough approach to games 2 and 3 here. So I'll keep this because I've got a Bazaar. I'm on 7. I've got Vigor for my Vengevine. Opponent doesn't have a Leyline or anything like that. Or I've got a Vengevine for my Vigor, sorry. Lizard? No. Let's go Vengevine. Forest. Yavimaya. And I might slow roll this. No, because I'm always pitching, aren't I? Let's just cast Hollow One. Hollow One's in. Do I want a Jet in play? No, not really. It would play around Tabernacle better, but I think I'd rather have the discard equity for the Bazaar. So, Mana Vault. Flesh Raker. Lotus. Mox Opal. I will go in response to that. I know they've got infinite mana, but we deny them the Opal. Maybe that's really bad. Maybe that's really bad. So 6 mana. Is this just Wormcoil Engine? Tezzeret, sure. Tezzeret tutors a top, I imagine. Maybe I was a bit hasty on my Vigor. It chooses a Needle. Needle happens. Needle name's bizarre. Tezzeret ticks up. They tinker as well. Holy hell, what a hand. What a hand. Sphinx of the Steel Wind, which I can't remove. Are we done? Let's rotate this away and have a look at our whole deck. So, my lands can't really help me. I can get an Urza Saga. But it's going to be a double dismember to kill their Sphinx. I think we're good here. Let's go to a new round. Shame to lose, but that opening hand's kind of fucked up. So, hey ho, never mind. Onwards to round 5. Okie dokie. Round 5. We're on the play against Yorgmoth 87. That last round was that game 2 hand is exceptionally messed up. But hey ho. It does not matter. And we've got a nice starter here. They've got a Lurrus. Okay. First and last Lurrus opponent of the day. Over to us. We've got 2 hollow ones and a lizard to kick things off. So Riftstone Portal, Basking Root Waller, Ignoble can all go to the bin, I think. Maybe it's supposed to be the converter, because I'm not going to be excited about discarding, activating my Bazaar going forwards. If they're on, what's it called? If they're on control. So let's cast this. Cast a hollow one. Cast a hollow one. They're all in. They're here. Here to play. And I might just play Tiger activate next turn, and then Saga currency converter the following turn. Because if I play Saga next turn, and then my Bazaar or Saga get wasted, then my Saga's dead. See there, so we can just go strip converter next turn. Tiger converter next turn. We get stripped. Opponent's going to take a nice cheeky 9 though. Oh, ooh. I'm going to play a Tiger and a currency converter. Strip mine, I think, just confirms the presence of Bowmaster in their deck. Currency converter gets countered. Sure. I attack you for 9. Not too long until they've got other problems. There's 11 on board next turn, so this needs to be Land Mox Frog. Or Land Mox Bowmaster at sorcery speed. Or Fatal Push will keep them alive for a turn. All of these things. Strip Mine, Force Negation, Pitching, Spell Pierce. Okay. This is an Underground Sea. And a Brainstorm. So, Lotus Bowmaster, or Mox Bowmaster is the only thing that keeps them alive here. This is getting pretty difficult for the opponent. Okay, so literally just snuff out at this point, right? Snuff out doesn't even help, that's 4 life. Let's play it as a Saga. And attack for 11. And they die. Okay, cool. That was fun. Turn 1 Bazaar. Activate Lizard. Right then. Against the control decks, I guess we want Dismembers, because we want to beat up on Bowmasters and Frogs. I think the Wasteland battle could be fun. The Tabernacle battle could be funny. And then maybe this is a matchup where I don't care quite so much about Collector Roofs. So maybe I can drop a couple and keep a lot of my interaction in. Let's drop a Sapphire, no, a Pearl. And then one of something else. Not any of the creatures. Maybe just a Hierarch. Maybe the final Oof, actually. Maybe I just don't care about artifacts and enchantments. Artifacts in this game. I do care about enchantments. I'm a survival deck. But I think this is acceptable. Just a few removal spells. Ignore the fact that our opponent could ever put an artifact on the stack. And then we've got Converter, Survival, Ice Till Loam, Frenzied Baloth to dick on all their Force of Wills. That sort of shit. Yeah, I think I like it. I think I like it. And we just try and play like a crop rock game. I think this is about as grindy as I can get. I think it's about as grindy as I can get. Okay, game 2, we've got a weird one here. We can go turn 1, convert, hold up, Spirit Guide, pitch, rotate into Bazaar of Baghdad. I can beat their misstep with my misstep. I think I'm actually into this. I'm actually quite into this, if I'm honest with you. Okay, Mox Jet, inbound. Mox Sapphire, disaster for the home team. Turn 1 Psychic Frog. Yeah, it's very big. Well, well, well. Let's play a Cradle, play a Converter. Opponent considering. That gets Force of Negation, which I think is borderline great for us. So now we can rotate our Cradle. Ah, and lose. Okay. Cool stuff. Double Force of Will, turn 1 Frog. Kinda fucked. Anything else that we want? I don't think so. They play 2 Moxen, right? Like, or maybe they play the Pearl as well. But that's fine. That's fine. Every deck in the format has to have their nut draws, right? And that was about as good as it gets for them. Turn 1 Frog with double backup. They also had the walk if I wasn't killing them. If they didn't use both pieces of interaction, they had the walk the next turn, so it goes. Okay, so final game of today. And then hopefully we beat Lurrus Control. Opponent has a Lurrus. We've got a hand that can't produce mana. So let's take a mulligan. We've got a hand that can produce a survival and lose. Yeah, alright. Let's keep this. Pitching the Spirit Guide. Let's say done to that. And now we'll cast a Mox Emerald. Play a Wooded Foothills. I'm gonna get one of these 2 lands, Forest or Tiger. I guess I just get basic Forest. I can't imagine this is resolving. It's on the stack. It's not going to get through. Yeah, Force of Will pitching, Psychic Frog. Okay. And now we've got a nonsense hand. I could have got Tiger, but then I'm massively exposed to Wasteland. That was my thinking. Opponent pitched a Frog, which is quite big. Oh, sorry. And then we just need to top deck out of it, I guess. Top deck a Bazaar, top deck a Rotation. So we've got like 7 outs to hit a Bazaar next turn, which is better outs than we've had ever before in our lives. Opponent really in the tank about how to play turn 1. They have a tap land, sure. Tap land and keep on top, back to us. That's a Mox Jet, which I am going to hold on to for now. Maybe holding on is bad, actually, because then I can dismember with and beat Spell Pierce. This is an Underground Sea. They've tapped some lands. They've got a second Frog. I can't beat that at the moment because of 4 cards in hand. Guy's Cradle's pointless. Play a Mox Jet. Play a Guy's Cradle. I can't do anything, right? Dismember doesn't work. If I'd got Tiger, I would have been able to cast Squee. Squee would be able to block a Frog for a long time and also put a Dismember on the stack. But now we're just going to get run over by the Frog, I think. Well, I don't think. It's just completely true. Okay, 3 Frogs. Wasteland is fine. Yavimaya Cradle is fine. Okay, never mind. 3-0 into 3 and 2. We got found out against the Raker Shops deck where they were just far too explosive for us. And then we lost to the control deck. Maybe that was a mulligan, that 1 threat hand with just survival. Because our opponent kept 7 and showed us Force of Negation in game 2. So maybe we can't keep survival and die, like all in on survival. Maybe it has to be better than that. And I can see that. But hey ho, I had fun for the first half of this league. I actually also thought that round 4 was fine. Just the Lurrus control deck is very boring. Do we need all of the Moxen? I don't know, but it increases the number of turn 1 Collector Reefs, turn 1 survivals you're going to produce. So that's interesting. We never got to do the whole currency converter thing. And I think it's at odds with the deck with the Collector Reefs in it. But it's still a nice target for the Saga. Although, I wouldn't be surprised if this is supposed to be Haywire Might, so that we can kill things. The fetch lands, good chance that these are supposed to be Bossejus. Maybe all of them, maybe 2 of them, and then you just add another Tiger or keep the fetch. But I don't know, yeah, I had fun playing. It was a cool set of matches. Sideboard could be anything you want, I think. You don't even need to be on Vigors because you've got the mana to cast Naturalizers and stuff. If you're concerned that your opponents are going to be on a lot of Baubles and Void Mirrors, there's a lot of mono white hanging out at the moment. But we had 7 cards for Dredge, we had 5 cards for Artifacts, and 3 cards for Creatures. That's not too out there. There's no Mind Break traps in this list. There's no permission in this list. But hey ho, what a fun league we had. Thanks for watching, and I will see you again in the near future, probably playing some Magic. Take care.